always starts the same, doesn't it? A sketchy screenshot, a grainy photo of a document no one's supposed to see, and this time, oh honey, it's not some blurry yacht pic or an ambiguous party shot floating in from Croatia. No. It's a full-on private jet manifest. You heard that right, a flight log. And guess when it's dated? The exact week Meghan Markle was allegedly cruising through the Adriatic as a yacht girl back in 2014. But here's the mic drop moment. If this manifest is legit, and yeah, that's still a massive if, it doesn't just kill off the yacht girl narrative, it shatters it, replaces it with something even murkier, more elite, and way more secretive. Buckle up, because this one's a ride. So let's talk origin. Where did this jet manifest even come from? Reddit, obviously. Deep in the night, someone dropped it into a thread titled, "Not a Yacht Girl, Something Weirder." Chills already, right? The account? Totally anonymous, claims they used to work with a luxury concierge service. Classic. The leak itself? A manifest from a small, sleek Gulfstream jet, flying from Nice, France to a tiny airport outside Florence, Italy. Now here's where the internet collectively gasped. Right there in the passenger list, wedged between redacted names and fuzzy passport numbers, Meghan Markle, next to a code name that now lives rent-free in everyone's brain, Emerald Duchess. I mean, seriously? That's either a Disney villain or an elite power player. Let's pause and set the record straight for a sec, because this entire thing is swirling in unverified rumors, random Reddit posts, and zero confirmations. No major outlet has touched it. The flight company, dead silent. But when has that ever stopped the internet? Within literal hours, Twitter detectives were running tail numbers, Reddit threads were digging into Tuscan villa bookings, Telegram groups were throwing around theories like confetti at a scandal party. And here's the consensus: if Meghan was really on that jet, the whole yacht girl narrative people clung to for years, dead in the water. But what this manifest opens up, oh, it's even more suspicious. Because if she wasn't on a yacht back then, what the hell was she doing jetting into Florence with no press, no customs, no noise, flagged on her itinerary? The manifest, if it's to be believed, includes other names too, mostly redacted. But the gossip machine thinks they've ID'd some: a Snapchat investor, a Monaco-based art dealer, and a fashion executive with close ties to Soho House. You sensing a pattern here? Big names, big money, all heading somewhere extremely private. And don't forget, this was during Meghan's break from Suits. Publicly, she was all over her lifestyle blog, The Tig, posting about sunsets, cappuccinos, and her bestie influencer life. But there's always been that weird black hole in the timeline. A stretch of unaccounted for weeks where no one really knew where she was. This manifest, if it's real, doesn't just fill the gap. It replaces the entire backdrop. Not a yacht, a jet. Not beach parties, secluded Tuscan villas. And the vibe? Less bubbly on deck, more billionaires in linen whispering over aperitifs. And let's be real, if this pivot is true, it doesn't clear the air, it just changes the players and elevates the game. For years, people demanded proof. Show us the yacht, they cried. Well, maybe there never was one. Maybe the receipts weren't on the sea, they were soaring through the air. And if that's the case, that whole yacht girl image was just a smokescreen, a distraction, while the real story was unfolding in the clouds. And you know what? The internet is obsessed. Gossip threads are spiraling. Royal watchers are frantically rewriting timelines. Even the most hardcore yacht rumor pushers are now squinting at flight paths and jet rosters. But hold up, it gets even messier. This isn't a clean debunk. The manifest doesn't show Meghan off doing yoga in Bali or sipping wine with family. Nope, this alleged jet, it's flagged for no customs delays. Runway pickup. That's code for serious privacy. That's a powerful somebody's pulling strings energy. And the people on board, what little is readable includes initials and nicknames that have gossip forums working overtime. Some say the names linked to tech investors, media influencers, maybe even a quiet billionaire or two. No confirmations, all whispers, but the details? Too rich to ignore. One Reddit user claimed one of the other names on the list is tied to a former Soho House board member. Another name might belong to a Milan fashion insider. Allegedly, one of them was seen at the same Tuscan estate Meghan visited that summer for an empowerment summit. I mean, come on. Again, this is all speculative. No airline has come forward. No billionaire has confirmed they were on board. But in celeb gossip, confirmation is overrated. It's the possibility that fuels the fire. And now the narrative has shifted completely. Forget yacht locations. Now it's all about aliases, flight paths, and secret meetings in Italian hills. Like, why was Meghan Markle Markle, then a rising actress, on a jet under a code name. Who booked it? Who was she meeting? And was this the real launch of her entry into elite circles? The yacht fantasy? It might have sunk. But the jet storyline, it's just taking off. And let's talk about that alias again. Emerald Duchess. Is that not the most deliciously mysterious codename you've ever heard? Reddit can't stop. Telegram's lit. Conspiracy threads say that name pops up in older manifests from VIP events, elite retreats, even art world soirees between 2012 and 2015. One podcast even claimed a former flight attendant confirmed it was a frequent guest alias. Nothing official, of course, no receipts, just vibes and secondhand gossip. But when the alias sounds that on brand, you can't help but raise an eyebrow. And digital forensics hobbyists? Oh, they're on this like white on rice. They've been analyzing metadata, fonts, even paper creases. FAA flight records have been pulled. One user even found a flight from Nice to Florence that matches the timeline perfectly, late July 2014. It's not proof, but it's compelling enough to make you wonder, and that's just the beginning. Now, here's the part that sends everything spinning. If Meghan wasn't sunbathing on some billionaire's boat, what exactly was waiting for her on the other end of that flight? That's the question lighting up every gossip site, Twitter thread, and Telegram group. And the whispers, they're getting louder. The guest list for that flight, though still mostly redacted, is rumored to have included a tech investor from Silicon Valley, a fashion powerhouse from Milan, and even someone linked to a Monaco gallery circle. It's giving Black Amex silent agreements and NDAs on NDAs. And the destination? One of the most exclusive, private, invitation-only villa circuits in Tuscany. Think secluded estates, candlelit dinners with curated guest list, private chefs, and zero press access. So what was Meghan doing there? The tea at the time made it seem like she was casually living her best beach life. Girl boss vibes, cappuccinos, sun hats. But this manifest tells a different story, a quieter one, a richer one. For years, critics clung to the yacht girl rumor like it was gospel. She was on the Mediterranean circuit, they said. Bikinis, billionaires, champagne toasts. But now, that whole fantasy might have been a smokescreen. Not because the truth was cleaner, but because it was much, much darker. Here's where the theory goes next, and hold on to your tea because it's piping hot. One name keeps circling the edges of this story: Marcus Anderson. If you know, you know. He's not just any friend. He's Meghan's longtime bestie, her link to Soho House royalty, the man behind the curtain. The name that always pops up when you dig into Meghan's pre-Harry social climb. And now, thanks to this manifest leak, people are wondering, was Marcus really booking her on yachts all those years ago? Or was he flying her straight into the arms of the true elite? Because this jet, this guest list, this vibe, it screams Marcus. According to one unverified Telegram drop, a WhatsApp exchange from July 2014 allegedly shows someone in Marcus's circle saying, "Air not this time. These people want no press." She's on the short list, and people are freaking out. Is she Meghan? Does V stand for a venture capitalist who supposedly hosted the infamous Tuscan retreat that summer? Nothing's been confirmed. Of course not. But gossip forums are buzzing because if this is legit, then Marcus wasn't connecting people to yacht captains. He was handing them off to billionaires behind walled estates in the Tuscan countryside. And the most chilling part? He was at her wedding, right there in the front row, that close. Some say the whole yacht narrative was encouraged just enough to throw people off the scent because yacht girl is easy to dismiss, easy to slut shame, easy to erase. But jet guest with connections to venture capitalists, silent retreats, and powerful men with curated guest lists, that's not scandalous in the same way. That's strategic. Oh, and it gets better, or worse, depending on your viewpoint, because one tail number from that alleged flight, it's now being linked to a billionaire, the ghost donor, as forums are calling him. A man who has never appeared in tabloids, never granted interviews, but who reportedly funds women-led startups, co-sponsors empowerment events, and owns multiple estates in, Tuscany. And guess what else? Meghan was the keynote speaker at a Women in Tech Summit just a few years later, an event that was allegedly sponsored by the very same billionaire's foundation. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe that speech wasn't a one-off. Maybe it was the public debut of a relationship that began in private 3 years earlier, behind the walls of a luxury villa, behind the scenes. Netflix, Spotify, Penguin Random House, these companies poured millions into the Meghan Markle story. The one that says she overcame palace cruelty, emerged as a voice for women, and built her brand from the ground up. But now, with whispers of secret retreats, ghost donors, and digital wipeouts swirling around like a storm cloud, insiders say those same companies are getting nervous. One post from a verified talent coordinator said execs aren't laughing anymore. They're not panicking yet, but they're definitely circling the wagons. And let's be real, these aren't companies that like risk, especially not reputational risk tied to someone they've publicly championed. If even a hint of that jet story proves true, especially the alias angle or the secret Tuscan retreat, it could all unravel fast. One entertainment lawyer said it best: "It's not about the jet. It's about what was waiting at the end of the runway." That's what sponsors care about. That's what keeps lawyers up at night. And that's where it turns from juicy gossip to full-blown PR crisis. Because the yacht girl narrative, it was tacky, it was sexist, but it was also easy to deny, easy to dismiss as tabloid noise. This jet stuff, though, this is different. This has tail numbers, flight logs, potential links to real power brokers. This is the kind of story you can't laugh off with a podcast episode and a wellness quote. Some say the yacht rumor might have actually helped Meghan. It painted her as misunderstood, even victimized. It rallied support, but the jet, that's got teeth. That's not just about Meghan, that's about systems. And what happens when you quietly enter them through the side door? And if all of this is true, even just partially true, then it paints a very different picture of how her rise really began. Not through fame, but through access, private jets, code names, NDAs, and maybe, just maybe, a quiet strategy that started long before the public ever saw it coming. Even Netflix is reportedly pressing pause. Rumor has it they shelved a segment in her upcoming docuseries that featured, wait for it, Tuscany. I mean, seriously? The timing isn't just suspicious, it's screaming. But that's not all, because this isn't just gossip anymore. It's a cultural proxy war. On one side, Meghan's defenders are screaming misogyny. They say the yacht rumor was always a sexist smear to bring down a powerful woman. Now that it's dying, her critics are pivoting. First the boat, now the plane. They're not after truth, they're after blood. Because if there's one thing this entire unraveling has made crystal clear, it's that stories, even royal ones, can't outrun the internet. Not forever. So now the Emerald Duchess era begins, and whether it's a clever alias, a fabricated hoax, or a breadcrumb to something very, very real, its impact is undeniable. It's already reshaping how people talk about power, celebrity, and the blurred line between fiction and influence. The final question isn't whether Meghan Markle was on that flight, it's what happens if she was. And maybe, more disturbingly, who else knew? Was it all rumor? Was it all genius PR? Was it a string of unconnected events, stitched together by obsessed online detectives? Maybe. Maybe not. But here's what we know for sure. The internet has already decided what the story feels like, and in a world where feeling is more powerful than fact, that's the only thing that matters. So drop your thoughts below, follow for updates, because the next shoe, it's coming. And when it drops, we won't be looking at the sea. We'll be looking at the sky.